Alright everyone, we're back here. Welcome to round 2. Just took a little bit of a break. Did some laundry, did the dishes. Got some salad in me here. Before I start here, just a little more retrospective on game 1 there against our Elves opponent. I think that looking back on it, it's clear, that Supreme Verdict / Wrath of God or whatever is pretty much the only card that matters in that matchup. And so yeah, it was clearly a mistake not to mulligan for one of those cards in our previous game, and we will keep that in mind moving forward. So either way, getting our head back in here to game 2. Let's see. Opponent kept 7. We are on the draw. I think we have a fine curve here. So we'll go ahead and keep this hand ourselves. Bauble, alright. Looks like our opponent is on some sort of a delirium something build. Okay, targeted themselves. Okay, so I wonder, Scalding Tarn, I wonder if they're either on Grixis Death Shadow or on a Phoenix type build. Alright, so I'm going to assume puts trigger ability. I'm going to assume that they're okay. Gideon. Let's see. Opponent's at 18, so I'm going to lead with the Irrigated Farmland here, of course, seeing as we don't really have any other lands. So, assuming that this is not an Arclight Phoenix deck, I think this Gideon should be pretty good. Should be pretty good here. I think just the Grixis Death Shadow matchup in general, I think we're probably well suited for. And it does appear as though that's what we're up against here. So let's see, their removal spells, they'll definitely be playing things like Fatal Push, so they can just knock some of our lower curve creatures out of the way. They might play... Do they play Terminate? I don't know. They might not have a way to deal with this Sun Titan, really. Although it would be super cool and flavorful if they were playing the, what is it, the Modern Masters 17 Terminates or whatever. That'd be pretty spot on. Okay, Angler. Angler with a blue mana up. So our opponent most likely has a Stubborn Denial at the ready here. So rather than throw this path in the way, I think we'll just go ahead and play out a Wall of Omens here, trying to grab some more lands, and we'll pass the turn. So we'll see how aggressive our opponent wants to get. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and use these to buy us some time. So we can draw into some other cards here. See if our opponent wants to put the pressure on. They do. Okay. Okay, so let's see. I think we're going to go for another wall here. Lead with the wall, see if we can draw into something else here. Another land. Okay, Detention Sphere. It's a pretty good one. So we'll go ahead and play out our Field of Ruin and just use this to soak up another attack here, assuming our opponent has not found a Fatal Push. Okay, so our opponent does have the fetch land in play here. So It's possible that we can block the Gurmag here and still take 6 from the Death Shadow, but I think that's just kind of where we're at right now. One of our best draws is going to be a Supreme Verdict. Alright, second Detention Sphere is not great. Let's see. So we can't draw any more cards. What we can do, now I'm pretty sure that, yeah, it's just non-creature spell. So we'll go ahead and land a lone Missionary here. And again, at this point we're just stalling to try and get to a sweeper. Because that is kind of what Modern is all about right now. Okay, so they do have a Bolt. So we're going to take a real big hit here. And unfortunately, even if we do draw a sweeper, we won't be able to... Okay, so look at the top of our library. So even if we draw our Wrath here, we're still not going to be able to cast it, unfortunately. And we are almost certainly not getting another turn after this one. So even if we draw into White Source, second Angler, okay. Another Missionary. I don't think that does it, unfortunately. So let's see. Yeah. We just could not draw the cards that we needed. Okay, so Celestial Purge seems like a pretty good spell in this matchup. I don't know if I'm enamored with Settle the Wreckage, just because it seems like they can just, just doesn't seem very good. Neither does the Spreading Seas here. Phantasmal Image is interesting, although they do have tons of removal to get rid of it, so... Let's see, Damping Sphere doesn't seem particularly impressive. The relics don't seem great, but they might be better than nothing. Settle the Wreckage seem... well, what do we have here that doesn't also seem that good? Maybe Lone Missionary is just not good at all. Flickerwisp is nice because it's a threat in the air. Crucible doesn't seem irrelevant here. Hussar gives us low card selection, so I think we're in to keep that. Just trying to decide if we want to bring in these Settles. Maybe we do. Maybe Settles are better than... I like the Wall of Omens because it can buy us a turn. And again, Flickerwisp just allows us to pressure them. We want the paths. We want the Gideons. Alright, we'll cut a wall, and we'll cut a Missionary. Now again, I'm not crazy about Settle the Wreckage here because it's extremely vulnerable to Stubborn Denial. Okay, so this hand doesn't do a whole lot. This hand doesn't do a whole lot. We don't have any play until turn 3, so I think we're going to mulligan. Alright. And we'll keep that on top, I guess. Okay, so let's see if our opponent has some turn 1 discard here. Nope, apparently not. Relic might be a little slow here, but at least it'll keep him off of the anglers, and we can pop it in response to a Snapcaster Mage. So, I just think that Graveyard Hate is typically pretty effective against... I guess we should have activated our Relic there. Well, we can do it on their end, step 2. I don't know offhand, is Angler 5 and 1, I think? Thoughtseize, okay. So let's activate our Relic in response here. And we cannot respond to the Thoughtseize. So I'm sure they take the Purge here. Possibly the Hussar, but most likely it's the Purge. Yep. Alright, so there's a Crucible. If they have a Stubborn Denial, that's pretty bad. But if they Stubborn Denial or Crucible, do we really... We do have a... Alright, well, we'll give it a whirl. See what happens here. And we'll activate this now. Relic's not a card that I have a whole lot of experience with, so... Yeah, we did play land. So, yeah, forgive me if I'm activating it at weird times or something like that. I guess this is very vulnerable to Kolaghan's Command. So maybe it would have been better to hold it for an additional turn, just to try and make sure we can at least get some value out of it. So this might be Kolaghan's Command, Shatter, and Discard. In which case I guess we gotta get rid of the Sun Titan. Okay. Another Field of Ruin. That's too bad. So let's play out our Flood Strand, I guess. We'll fetch a Plains here. I'm not gonna lie, I thought this matchup would be a little better than it feels. So we really just need something that answers this. Really need something that answers this Gurmag Angler. But I guess Flickerwisp blocks, if nothing else. I think we're gonna sack this Relic on our opponent's end step, maybe. If we don't get to block with this, we're gonna be in trouble. I mean, we're already in trouble. Yep. Okay. So I didn't exile our own library there because I wanted to be able to play this out again. I think we're gonna fetch out another Plains here. Play out a Wall of Omens. Because fortunately now at least we have mana that we can... Do I want to try and blink the Wall of Omens right now for value, or do I want to try and fix our mana? I think we're going to blink out. We're going to play this out. Because it also is a threat. Opponent is at 9. And so if we can mess with our opponent a little bit here, I think we might give us a shot here. Second Flickerwisp, okay. Alright, opponent looks at the top of our graveyard. So I don't think I want to go to 7 here. I think we'll just take the block. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can Titan next turn. And get back our Wall of Omens. And then, I mean, we're kind of doing it after that, so... Alright, make sure I don't mess up my sequencing here with anything. So let's start off by attacking. So if this ends up in our graveyard, we can also get it back with the Titan. Opponent goes to 4. Alright. Their Flooded Strand, get another Plains. So if we Sun Titan, target Wall of Omens, seems pretty good. Maybe Hussar. Nah, I think this will be alright. There's an Emeria. Alright. See what our opponent can do here. Alright. So I think that was a pretty good display of the inevitability of this deck. I don't think our opponent plays Ghost Quarter or Land Destruction lands, so I think that puts us in a good spot here. Now, Phantasmal Image, I guess there's an argument that Phantasmal Image is probably really bad in this matchup. Because they play so much spot removal, but I don't know. I think I'm satisfied with this. You can just run it back here. Yeah, I think this will do it. While our opponent's threats are really large, it's not like they're going to kill us on turn 4 here, so we will have a little time to start getting to some of these cards. Let's see what they take here. That might be... I mean, I assume they take the path, but... Yes, okay. Alright, Purge is a nice pickup. Probably just end up fetching fetching for a fountain here on the old end step. It's really Faithless Looting. Interesting. Looks like they're trying to turbo out a Gurmag Angler this turn, and I meant to look how much generic mana is in Gurmag Angler's mana cost, and I forgot last turn. But if they spend all their that's right, they took our path, but we can still hit an angler with this Celestial Purge, which we will just go right ahead and do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so obviously they either don't have angler, they don't have enough to pay for the angler, or they don't want to play it without their counterspell backup. So, okay. If they do go an angler here, or a Death Shadow for that matter, and they have blue up, we're going to Celestial Purge it anyway, and then just untap and Detention Sphere. Okay, baubles us. So hopefully we don't draw anything too juicy that our opponent will get to know about. Ooh, Lily the Last Hope. Okay. So they don't have any critters in their yard. But I think what we'll do here is go ahead and fetch Shock a Hallowed Fountain. One creature. Play a land this turn. Okay. So we do have multiple answers for Lily, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this right now. Okay, so they know about the Subtle Wreckage. Wow, that's like the worst possible card we could have revealed, unfortunately. White, blue, white. Down the Court Hussar. Pick a card. Let's see. So, Crucible of Worlds is interesting. I think we want to dig a little deeper. So why don't we go ahead and get the Wall of Omens. And from there we can start kind of going off, I guess, with Wall into Flickerwisp and those kind of shenanigans. Again, it's a shame they know about the Settle the Wreckage, but I feel like, again, the card is pretty unwieldy in this matchup. I think it'll be difficult to leverage it properly when they're playing Stubborn Denial, so... Okay, so it looks like Snapcaster. This might be Snapcaster Colligan's command. Inquisition, okay. So I wonder what they'll take. Our opponent, probably the Wall of Omens, actually. Us getting a redraw next turn off the wall is pretty huge. Oh, the Detention Sphere, okay. So is this going to be a Death Shadow then, I wonder? It's either Shadow or a Gurmag, okay. Right, second Court Hussar. I think we're going to play Field of Ruin into Wall of Omens. We want to find either our second... Yeah. Alright. It takes an extra blue mana to do... It uses up one of our blue mana sources, but I guess we'll do it in this order, just in case. Okay, second Settle the Wreckage. Alright, we'll do this and just hold back. So depending on what our opponent does here, we have the Court Hussar to hold back the Snapcaster Mage, and we have the Wall of Omens to hold back the Death Shadow if they can't find a way to grow it. So I think we're in a decent... Okay, so they can get us here with the Death Shadow. They can plow through our wall. So the Death Shadow goes to a 5/5. I think I'm going to keep the wall in play, so I can get it with the Flickerwisp next turn. Or do I want to put the Court Hussar in front of it? and throw that guy away. I want to block it with the wall because I'm actually I think this also draws us a card, but kind of in a better way. So, well, I guess just in a different way, really. All right, so our opponent probably has Stubborn Denial as one of the last cards in their hand. Is my guess. Or I think they would have maybe used their bolt. So why don't we play out the Irrigated Farmland. I'm just going to hold up the Settler Wreckage and go for that, I think. I'm assuming that it will get countered, but I mean, if they got it, we got to work through it anyway. Okay, so this also incentivizes our opponent to attack with more creatures. So clever. Okay, so since we have two Settler Wreckages, I guess we'll go ahead and use one now. Which they let it go. It's understandable. So we might be able to blow our opponent out with the second one. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sun Titan. Okay. So let's see. Do we want to... I think we're going to Hussar here. See if we can guarantee ourselves... Or hold on. Do we want to Field of Ruin first? Tap 2. Field of Ruin, Hussar. Yeah, let's do that. Maybe that's not necessary. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. We'll just try and use our mana. Use our mana this turn. So let's hit one of their blue sources. I guess we'll get this one. And we're going to Plains, of course, because we want to keep our Plains count in play high for Emeria. Ha. So do we want to delay the Sun Titan a turn? I think we're going to want the Hallowed Fountain. Those in any order. No. Okay. So now we're set up for our Sun Titan next turn. And we're also set up to block, because I'm pretty sure our opponent's last card in hand is Stubborn Denial, just from how they were playing. So, yep, they get to try and run us over here, but we'll just block. And then we'll just play this Sun Titan next turn, and get back our Hussar. Actually, we're going to get a Detention Sphere, because it just returns it to the battlefield. And our opponent does not get to Stubborn Denial it. So, yeah, we'll just do that. So we'll sidestep our opponent's counter magic nicely. And yes, as a matter of fact, we would like to use that ability. Okay. Opponent's up to 3 cards in hand. Okay, Hardcast Street Wraith. Alright, so I'm pretty sure we're just attacking into that. And let's go ahead and grab... I'm going to grab a Wall of Omens, just to play a little on the safe side. It also draws us a card and blocks this Street Wraith, so I don't think we're in a hurry here. And, let's see, we have all this mana. So let's go ahead and play a Field of Ruin. I guess we won't activate it right now because it'll give our opponent a blue mana. So if we do this, we'll just blink the wall. And there we go. So that was a sweet match. Some nice interactive magic. And again, the inevitability of this deck, once you get the Sun Titan into play, short of a path to Exile, it's really downhill for our opponent. Now that being said, I didn't consider this at the time, but when I blocked the Street Wraith, our Sun Titan of course took 3 damage, and so our opponent could have bolted it in order to kill it. But even still, I think with the Flickerwisps in hand, I think we were set up to just kind of take over the game if they're using a bolt on our Titan to get rid of it in that way. But either way, yeah, that was fun, and we will see you in the next game.